And I thought what we would do is go ahead and have Will Childers is the chairman of the Ouachita River Commission, and he is here. He is the one that actually printed out the sheets of the river park that you have in your packet. So he was just going to kind of give you an update as to what's going on out there and what they would like to see happen. And they've applied for a few grants and different things like that. So, Will, are you there? Will, you're on mute.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was wondering if you could just kind of give us an update. If you want to,
Sure.
you could go in and put on your video, or are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone actually. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Um, yeah. So I guess you got out the two layouts that we have there.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. So what Brenda asked me to come speak with you guys on some of the stuff that we're looking at doing currently and some issues that we're trying to work out at the River Park. And again, I want to thank Mike and Brenda for all the assistance that's gone on down there. We really appreciate everything, and I know the city does on the cleanup and the look and everything of the park right now. Um, One of the main things that I want to talk about, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible, is uh, some of the new things that we're looking at doing. Currently, we've applied several times for a grant, and it's the Blue and You grant. Working on trying to get sidewalks in that area, and that seems to be one of the main issues that we're having is actually congestion, whether it be parking congestion or just people in general. Um, the first paper or sheet that you see there that has the red line on it, uh, that is actually to the interstate, is where we're showing that sidewalk to go to. We would like it to go all the way to Tanner Street just to give people access to walk and exercise. Um, but what we're looking at doing is at least to the interstate bridge, and then you'll see that it's hard to tell through the woods, but you'll see that it turns and actually goes down and meets the turnaround spot that's currently in the sidewalk. Um, we've applied for this Blue and You grant, and Jeff Short and I have done some kind of estimations and things on what this sidewalk would run, and it's around 122,000 is what we estimated it at. But again, that could be with the city help, things like that. So we've applied several times, but currently the grants are going mainly to Pine Bluff right now. So we just keep reapplying that grant as a continuation to see if we can get some assistance because it is such a congested area. I spoke with Brenda on the area that's down toward the end, that you can see where that curves down at that end. That's where a lot of the congestion happens because a lot of people want to get out before the falls, mainly if they have kids, things like that, that are scared to go over the falls. That's where they exit the river a lot. They go, you can see that sandbar there. They'll walk that sandbar and they've got a beaten path basically up to the Mike put me in some rocks to keep people from driving down through there. We had an issue with them actually pulling down into the woods for a while. And so we're just trying to get some relief as far as that congestion goes with people, because it gets kind of dangerous. There's a lot of traffic, amazingly, during the summertime on that road. And we have a lot of people that just stand out in the street with their floats and stuff, waiting on people to go pick up vehicles. You guys have any questions on that? What we're looking at there?
Well, if any of you haven't been down to the river park on a Saturday or Sunday, they estimate for a weekend around 1,000 to 2,500 people
That's
are down
correct.
there every weekend. So I would just tell you, if you haven't driven down there on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, you just cannot imagine how many people. We've been working on some additional parking across the street from the bathrooms
Mhm.
because it is so congested and so wild. we have to have police officers there now pretty much every weekend. And we also do, and you can talk to Chief Harper, but we do multiple water rescues every weekend too. So it has really, the activity's really grown.
Yes, and adding to that, she's completely correct, and we appreciate all that the city's done there. It's gotten to the point now when I first moved down in this area over 10 years ago, around 10 years ago, we had usually about probably 80 to 100 people max at that time during the day. And again, what she mentioned, over 1,000 could be there on a weekend, and it's grown so much. And we added in, as some of you may know, or if you didn't know, the changing facility that was added in down there. That was a big issue. I know Mike had an issue with the bathrooms being used and congested with people changing in there. So we had some monies to do that, and with the assistance of the city, which really helped that out. But we just have our biggest issue is parking right now, and keeping people off of the actual streets, giving them access to it easier. If you'll look at that other sheet, that is just a photoshopped aerial of something. Now, where the city has done their dirt work, I'm sorry about that, but this Google hasn't updated their aerial in a while. But that area over there where the fill and stuff is, we do have, the city did do the gravel area, and Mike did the rocks around it. But that's not seen there in that area. But what we were looking at doing in the future, you can see the photoshopped parking that's actually across from the boat ramp.
Yeah.
We thought about that area, even though the city has been working on the gravel further over to the right. Mainly that area, because there's so much traffic going to the falls and stuff, that would keep people closer parked wise. That was just one of the ideas we had, going future wise, as far as gaining some parking spaces in there. And also out in that field, you can see we added in basically a playground area that would be surrounded with sidewalks, but would be that chopped rubber fill inside there, mainly to keep people busy or keep kids busy, I'll say, while they're waiting on parents to pick up cars and pick up from the dam area, because that tends to be the worst issue we've been seeing down there, and the public is people don't tend to kids as much as they used to, I think. And it's sad, but they run the streets, and they'll run out between vehicles across the street. And we've seen a lot of stuff, and I know the officers have had to deal with a lot of stuff down there. So we're just looking to add as much as we can to fix the congestion issue.
What about this parking?
Go ahead.
What about on the parking? How much are you looking at on that? Have you had an estimate?
We have not had an estimate. We looked into, when we first started talking about this, we mainly, as you can see, the sidewalk is photoshopped in there, kind of how we wanted the sidewalk to run. We haven't got into the parking issue because we were looking at fixing the part of the people being on the street. Because right now, where that red piece, the paper with the red line, David, they usually walk all the way from that end, and they actually just, I don't know if anybody's been down through, but when it's busy, they're carrying tubes, and they're not walking on the grass. They're in the middle of the road. So
I described it as, it looks like Wild River country.
It does. It does. It really does. Yeah. And
I've got down in there and enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's definitely necessary, all you're talking about with the sidewalks, for sure. I mean, it's chaos. And I would even say on the parking, I think that's a good idea on the parking, and everything that the city has done already would just be overflow, because I don't even think that's enough parking for what I saw down there.
It's
They were
not
lining up on the streets and parking all out in there where they're doing the gravel right now.
exactly. Yeah. And it's really not enough parking. The biggest thing we got into was people with children and stuff, hopefully, that would give them a little bit easier access. But you're right. There's, in order for us to do that, we probably had a parking lot about the size of Walmart to accommodate, if you've seen it, honestly. And it does get expensive, and we're just, it's kind of a slow thing because, like I mentioned to Mayor Weldon, that, being the 501(c), and getting donations, a lot of the people see it as a city type project more than they've seen as what was donated down there and we still run the foundation and the commission, but we don't see quite as much donations. We mainly have to go after grants is what we're having to do now. So, and we get I get a lot of calls, personal calls about, Mike fixed so much stuff for us, having, the trash cans and having the parking and, keeping everything clean down there. And I know it's a constant headache, but we're just at that point where we don't know where to go from here because it's just getting bigger and bigger. So.
I think you're right about the sidewalks. I think that's probably the next step. I mean, for sure, because it is dangerous and there's so much traffic, foot traffic,
Right.
As well as, the people just trying to get to their houses and the people trying to get to pick up people and the all the stuff that goes on down there. And they have created some extra parking already, and it's not ideal, but it does help.
Right. Yeah, and that's why the sidewalk is, again, where I showed it going to the interstate. It would be great. I talked to her. The only issue we have would be crossing the creek area if we went all the way up to Tanner. But we do see a lot of activity in the mornings and the afternoons with people that actually just want to exercise and they walk in the street. I even have family members that walk down there, and it's a good place to go, but we need to, focus on giving them more, I think, as far as, for the city of Malvern, because it has grown so much. And I know it brings new people and sure it brings revenue, but we, again, like Mayor Weldon mentioned, the city incurs a lot of costs down there because it has gotten so busy, and we kind of want to make that a little bit better. And that's the officers being down there and all that stuff is great. But keeping people safe is even better. So that's where we're trying to push for, mainly getting that in first and then starting to focus on as much parking as we can possibly get. And again, the playground stuff, we just have so much room to work with down there, especially in that field area. I know, Mike, the less grass that they have to mow would be better. So anything we can put out there, but we're trying to create a place where people can do a little bit of everything. And the city park is awesome. I mean, all the upgrades that have been done to the city park. It's just that during the summertime, swimming and playing down there, it's become a big hot spot for Malvern.
Right.
Any other questions on it?
Anybody at this time? Well, Will, that'll give us little information to kind of let us know what direction's going in the park. And I know that you have about 35,000 left from a previous grant. And, like I told you, it's possible we could maybe try to get some TAP grant money. Or it could be that maybe the city could, do some matching with a grant. So
Sure.
unless the council, does anybody else have any other questions? I just wanted Will to come and kind of give you an update on everything. Anybody? Well, all right,
Good.
Will, we'll get back with you and
Not a
see if
problem.
anything
Yeah.
comes up, and I'll be looking for some things too.
Sure. Sounds
All
great.
right,
I
thank you.
everybody's time. Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, next, have we got Greg Pumphrey? Are you on the line?
I am.
Okay, all right. If you would, we have the two drawings that you gave to us, and could you kind of, I guess we'll start out with the police committee that's on here. Is this kind of what you had in mind, or what What do you think about it? We've got Greg on here to
It
answer.
definitely reminds me of the
Yes.
picture that Donnie liked.
I like option 2. I don't know if that's,
Yeah, I think option 2 looks a little more grand,
Okay,
makes the
that's
building
fine.
look a little bigger.
it does.
That one's fine with me.
I wondered a little bit about what the wall looks like behind the gable from the side.
Well,
Probably like it did.
Yeah, it's going to look like a Western storefront. You know, when you're coming
Will
over
it-
the viaduct.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're coming over the viaduct, you'll see the thickness of the wall.
So will that have like any braces going back to the roof?
More than likely, I have not got my structural engineer, but that wall is about 12 feet above the eave height of the existing building. So unless we can come up with some structure, I'd rather not have that, you know.
I mean, it looks good. My only concern is just seeing like some weird structures behind it, tying into the roof to stabilize it, you know, or something like that. And maybe it'll be hidden. It seems like you might see some of it. I don't know. But I
Yeah,
do like the way it looks in front.
Yeah, it's very possible you'll see some bracing, because I fully expect, because that's 12 foot high above the eave height, that we will have to do some type of kickers on that wall just to stabilize it. Unless
Is there any way that we could turn that just a little bit up onto the roof without causing any problems so you could hide stuff?
we can, it'd look better if it was a little thicker on the side.
Yeah.
No. Cause it does. It looks like a Western storefront from the side,
Yeah.
you know.
If you turn that, gives it a little more strength, and it can also hide it some. I just, I've seen them do it. Sometimes I don't get into this kind of building too much. I've just seen some of it.
Right. You know, the complication is, you know, how to divert the water off that other roof.
Right.
And,
I assume you got a gutter behind there, right?
I do. I pulled that parapet wall out from the building, and we can do something like we did on this warehouse in Jacksonville, where we had two down slopes, you know, coming together for one building, and we did a stainless steel trough that had all
Okay.
welded seams, and that's the only good way I've seen to gather water when there's no place for it to go, is you need to have a solid welded stainless steel trough, because you could put EPDM in it, but it's going to leak, you know. So that there is a little bit more work with it, you know, with doing the parapet, but it's doable. And what we could do is, if we do have to have bracing, we can go up the roof with the sidewall, and
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Up the on the two ends and making it look fatter.
right, yeah, it does need to look fatter. Yes,
Right. Okay.
I did a side elevation with some colors on it. I don't know if I got it to the city in time, but yeah, you can tell it's just a Western storefront, you know. So
Yeah, I like option 2. I don't know about the rest of the committee. I know Larry said that. What did you think about it, Donnie?
Did you hear me? David,
What did you say, Mary?
option 2.
You like 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks, I don't know, it looks a little nicer.
yeah, because if we don't thicken up the sides, it looks kind of funny with that gable coming out. It's almost like it just slams into the wall, you know. So that'll help the look of the gable from like a 45-degree view to the building.
Right. Hey, Greg, also, okay, so if we do this gable, is that going to be like cedar?
Yes.
And are you gonna have any cedar anywhere else? Are you just trying to do it with color, or what are you trying to do to
Well,
kind of tie that look?
Okay, what that option 2 is showing, is that natural color stone that, y'all selected. And then the ethos, the exterior finish wall system, just a lighter painted tan to go along with the copper roof. And, so this, man, this is up to you guys. I'm kind of limiting the cedar to the gable because it's shaded. And I'm afraid if we like do cedar on the covered walkway, that we would get into like high maintenance because it's going to have the morning sun every day. And no, it's.
So what are
trying
those
to-
columns?
The columns, the base, okay, the base of the tall columns for the gable, it's a brick. We need to get as close to the color of the rock as possible. And all the smaller columns have a small base of brick. Then above is the stone on the columns up to
You're doing
the
brick
walkway.
and then stone.
Yes. Another idea I was thinking of, right now I'm showing a covered walkway that wraps around the corners. It would be nice if we just kind of made that into a trellis, not necessarily a hard cover over all the sidewalks, and use like a colored PVC, a trellis board, that has the ends on it, makes it look like a trellis. And what would be nice about that is as you walk down that sidewalk, you get these really nice shadows, as you walk down, and that would leave just the entry as a covered part. I'm trying to recoup some costs here. I'm getting really worried about the budget. And we just found out that the lift station is going to run $72,000, not counting contractor markup. Well, that was an ouchie there.
Ooh. Well, but we need to kind of let him know what direction we're going in, if we're going in this direction, so he can add this to the bid package, because this will change the price to go with this front opposed to the other front. And the bidding was supposed to end on the 8th, which it's going to have to be extended a couple of weeks now to include this change in the front. So it's whatever the police committee would like to do, but Greg's got to know where he'll know what direction to go in. Either leave it like it was originally or go with this. So.
Little Rock has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for South Central Woodruff County in eastern Arkansas, southeastern Prairie County and central Arkansas, southeastern Lonoke County and central Arkansas.
Someone has their TV on, it sounds like. So, police committee, what do y'all want to do? Do you want to go with the original plan, or do you want to go with this one?
Along line extending from Rummage near State Park to near White River National Wildlife Refuge, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. After
I think that this looks really nice. I mean, I hate to delay it any, but I mean, when the committee got together, we all kind of seemed to be leaning this way, and I think Greg's done a good job drawing something up here. I mean, my only concern is just the cedar being in that one spot, and then he kind of addressed the braces for me, so
Allendale, Dobbs Landing, Peppers Landing.
I would think it would save a little money to do cedar columns all the way through there instead of stoning it up, but I could be wrong about that. And he's right on the maintenance part, but it's not too bad. It's just paint.
Well, if you think we need to add the cedar columns to match that cedar, I mean, I'm like you, that won't be a whole lot of maintenance to the building. That'd be the only thing that we'd have to paint. Well, unless you
every
might have to
2
paint
years.
this, might have to paint the stucco eventually, but. So,
You probably should still do the two big columns a little different, but maybe all the small columns would help tie some cedar across there. I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that, Greg?
Yeah, I'd like to keep the stone on the tall columns, just
Yeah,
because of the weightiness of it. You know, and we can go to cedar on the other columns.
I mean, I would like to see like an 8x8, something that was pretty beefy.
Hmm.
I know those posts are probably 400 a piece, but by the time you put a post in there and then wrapped it with stone, I'm sure you'd get close to that cost, if not more.
Probably more, yeah.
Right. I mean, it might help you a little, I don't know. But, and then that would throw some cedar across there and it just wouldn't be in that gable.
Right. Yeah, if we're going to do that, and then you don't see that being a problem, then the walkway cover, I would do that out of cedar too. You know, just keep it all tied together. And I actually, personally, I would like to see a trellis instead of a solid roof that covers the sidewalk. You know, have like trellis pieces at 2-foot centers. And that way it casts a shadow that across the front of the building and on the sidewalk. And what that would do, my biggest concern is that when you're coming from downtown towards the interstate, that you're going to see on top of that walkway cover.
Right.
You'll see the top of it. And, you know, I just worry about dirtiness of it and everything as time goes on. What you're thinking as far as a trellis compared to just a solid covered walkway?
I understand what you're saying about the look of it coming from the interstate. I mean, to me, it probably won't look much worse than the roof that you're going to see too. I do like the idea of being able to walk on it without getting rained on, but I don't know how much it'll be used that way. So, you know,
Right.
if it's somewhere we need to cut some money, I mean, that might not be a bad place to do it. I don't know.
I don't
Right.
think you'll have a lot of people walking. I mean, they're gonna pull up and go in the front door, you know, probably 90% of the people or maybe more. I
Right.
don't think there'll be a lot of people walking around the building. The trellis idea sounds good to me.
I tell you what, it's really nice when you just let the shadows paint the side of the building, the stripes, you know, it's a great effect.
And that's going to be a plastic.
I would go with the PVC on that because, you know, but we can match it up to whatever color cedar or whatever we use. You know, it comes in a
So is that
variety
like
of
kind of like what some of the deck boards are made out of now? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, right.
I can't even remember what that, like Trex.
Yeah,
Trex
I don't
does
know what
make one.
a friend of mine just did a swimming pool for his outdoor kitchen, and it looked nice, you know, it was all PVC, you know, just,
Okay.
and it looks
Yeah, because
substantial.
that would be a low maintenance, really low maintenance.
Right. And I think it'd put a nice texture on that building too, just on the shadows.
One other thing, where would you put the name? So that it go like right over the doors or?
I wondered
what?
about that myself.
Where would you put the what?
The name, Malvern Police Station.
Oh, the name. I would go right above the doors on that. Yes.
Okay.
And what I'd like to look at too, I'd like to put maybe some more windows above the entry doors.
Make a bigger.
And raise it. Yeah, make it look more grand. And
Yeah, that looks pretty grand. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I think it looks nicer than the other one for sure.
right.
I mean, it's a
Well,
totally different design, but it's a little nicer. I think the community would appreciate it.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, I guess we'll go with that, Greg. If you thing comes up, you can let us know. We'll talk to the committee and see what they want to do.
Okay, I'll work on it as fast as I can. Of course, it does affect a lot of drawings, but at
Okay.
this point.
Now, are you gonna draw it with more windows over the entrance?
I would like to, yes, just to
Yeah.
make it look more lofty and everything.
Yeah, I kind
know
of like
that-
that idea also.
I know the picture the mayor had shown me. It was almost solid glass all the way up. Of course, we don't have that opportunity because we're
No.
limited to how high the existing roof is. So,
All right,
we
any
can
other questions? All right, Greg, sounds like a plan, and then you can just get with us on a new bid date after you get the stuff done.
okay, we'll do it, Mayor.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right,
Thank all
next we
y'all.
go, thanks. Next we go into our finance meeting. Mr. Reynolds, you're up.
Well, I only see two items on there, the low bid on the street preservation and the low bid on the police radios. I think everybody's probably had a chance to look at them.
Mhm.
Any questions or discussion on what they're proposing?
These were now on the street bid. This was just the first of, we've also got another bid out for 12 miles of Cape Seal, so that will be coming up pretty shortly also. And then the other one was just strictly for the radios, which actually was under what we had anticipated. So we'd like to get those on the agenda to give them approved so we can get them going.
I'll make a motion, we send A and B over to the agenda committee.
Okay,
Second.
have a motion and second, all in favor, aye,
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries, and I'm assuming all of this is in the budget. I didn't look
Yes.
to see.
Yes, you amended the budget to cover the police radios last month. And then the street preservation, the beginning of that will come out of our bond money. And this might be a good time. I was gonna wait to the end, but we also, it looks like with the American Rescue Act that the president's putting in place to help the cities and counties, that the city should get about $2.2 million. And I've been attending everything that I can attend to find out exactly what we need to do and how and that type of thing. But from what I can read, and I've actually had some folks look it up for me at the U.S. Capitol, it does look like it can be used for streets. So I thought that might be our biggest need, would to be able to use that out on our streets. I actually thought about using that first before we even did the bond money. So we should get half of it sometime this summer, they're anticipating, and then we'll get the other half a year from now. So we're going to have an extra $1 million this year and then another $1 million next year. It has to be spent by December 31st, 2024. And we're just kind of waiting on some more guidance, but from everything I read and from talking to the county judge and what the Association of Counties, now the municipal leagues kind of they haven't really come out much about it yet. They're just said they're doing some research on it. But the Arkansas Counties Association has said that it, from what they can gather, it can be used for street projects and stormwater projects. So I just thought that would be extra monies that we could spend on streets. So,
Well, I'm all in favor of spending all the money we can spend on streets. That's the most common complaint I get.
well, that's what I thought. That ought to give us another $1 million in the next couple months anyway, because those monies, if you are a city under 50,000, that money will come to the state and will be distributed through DF&A. We've actually already done some preliminary stuff with DF&A to get prepared for the money, which is open up a separate account. We filled out all the paperwork and sent everything that we needed to. Don and I have worked together on that. And so we should get our money. And like I said, it should be half of it this year and half of it in next year. But that'll give us another $1 million.
We did find out today, Mayor, that the bank is going to require us to have council approval to open a special account. That's something
Okay.
new they've started. So probably that will be on the agenda Monday night. We've got the paperwork for you to look at tomorrow.
Okay, so if we could we add that at this time? Then I'll put it under, new business, approval to open new account. When we get there, Larry, I'll ask you.
Okay, I got it.
Approval for a new account for the American Rescue Act money.
Okay, anything else for finance?
What was that originally? Wasn't it like we were figuring around 3 or 4 million for streets? I can't even remember anymore.
Well, we were gonna spend $1.5 million. If that's what the plans were, we were gonna, with what we spent on the police station, fire station, and then the streets, we thought there'd be about $1.5 million left. And so we think this 12 miles of Cape Seal, with everything that's gone up, the way things are going up, we kind of think it might be around $1 million for this 12 miles of Cape Seal. We'll just have to wait till the bids come in.
Okay.
Any other questions? Here, I hear a motion to adjourn the finance committee.
Make a motion.
I'll
we
make that
adjourn.
motion. Second.
All in favor, aye.
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 All right.
Okay, I'll open the agenda meeting and, we've got 2 items now. Mayor, item A is approve the water service on Old Military. Have you got any information about that? Or?
Yes, they've signed all the paperwork to annex at the most opportune time. They did do all the things they needed to do. It's not costing the city any extra money. They will be paying for any kind of hookup things. So we just need that approval. So it's not costing the city anything. The lines go right in front of their house like the other ones are. But due to our ordinance that we've got and resolution, you have to approve it.
Okay. All right, and then you wanted the approval to open a new account with the
Yes, for the
American Rescue
American
Grant
Rescue
money?
Act. Mm-hmm,
Okay.
yes.
All right, let's go back up to new business under finance. A is approve low bid on street preservation, and B is low bid on police radios. Do I hear a motion to second to put those 2 items on next Monday night's agenda?
So move.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, those will be on there. And under new business, do I have a motion second to, put the, approval, to approve water service to Old Military and, approve to open a new account for the American Rescue Grant money that we're anticipating getting? Do I hear a motion and a second to put those 2 items on next Monday night's agenda?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, those are be on there, Mayor.
Okay.
Any citizens wishing to appear? Any council member have anything they want to talk about or put on the agenda? If not, I have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
That I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
next, I don't guess we have
We're
any
adjourned,
citizens.
Mayor.
Okay. The things that I have tonight to talk about, first off, we do have someone locally. Well, he's not local, but he's local to Malvern, but he lives in Little Rock, I believe. But Madre Hill has been inquiring about wanting to bid on our garbage pickup. That does come due, I believe it is in November. And since we have someone that is interested in bidding, I turned it over to I had our city attorney take a look at all that, and I feel like that we have approved, I think, the last 3 years on a year basis with our current Republic. We do have a few problems, but I think you do with all garbage pickup people, just about not picking up garbage or missing a few. But since someone is interested in that, do you want to go ahead and put that up for bid this time?
Well, when did you say it comes up for bid, Mayor?
Cecilia, in that November? You're on mute.
Okay, I'm looking right here. Current rate 1187 per unit on November 1, 2020. So I believe our anniversary is November the 1st, 2020. So 2021, it'll be up for bid. I don't know when we started soliciting for the bids, but it looks like our contract expires September 30th, 2021.
Well, I
What's
just
the
knew,
name, what's the name of the company, Mayor?
Phyllis, do you know, he's been, hadn't he, he's FOI'd a few of
No,
our
he
things.
had a garbage service. The name of his cleaning company is Razor Clean. But I don't know anything about his garbage company.
Well, I would think that would be something, that we'll need to include in our bid is references, because whoever does it, we need some references.
Yeah. I'm not sure,
Is he in the garbage pickup business now, currently?
I don't know.
I don't know either. He's just inquired and said that he wanted to bid on the contract when it comes up. And I feel like, we have an obligation to let people bid if, and because the way this contract reads, it actually expired, but we could actually approve that same company for the next 5 years. And that's what we've been doing, I think, the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they are right now a year-to-year contract.
I know that since we've had them, I think that it's helped the city look cleaner, stay cleaner. You see less trash in the road. I mean,
Well, I think
I
no
was,
doubt, if we were to bid it, David, I think we need to require to have the trash cans. Since
yeah.
our people are used to it,
That's
I
what I'm
think.
saying. If it's just going around and picking up sacks again, I don't like that. I think that we've kind of stepped up a level and it just looks better across the city.
Well, I've had very few complaints. Nobody in my neighborhood or in this area has ever complained to me about the garbage pickup.
Well, and that was my question.
Well, I think, Mayor, I think we need to know more about, Madre Hill's proposal before we can consider putting it up for bid. I mean,
Well, I don't know that we can really do that because this will have to be a sealed bid. And I mean, Cecilia, I just knew that if you have someone that's inquiring, are we obligated to put it up for public bid, or can we legally go ahead and extend this for another year? That's what my question
I think
was.
we have 2 extensions left. Isn't that right, Cecilia? And as long as both parties are happy with the contract.
I believe so. I have it here in front of me, the entire packet from Republic. And I have not finished looking at the entirety of it, but it looks as if, yes, there were extensions. We began this October of 2014. I'm trying to locate those extensions.
I think we renewed it again in 19 while I've been.
Yes.
So we probably done 20, and then probably 19 is when it expired, probably, and then we did for 19 and 20. So I think we've done 3.
Mayor, I think I'm kind of with Larry. It almost seems like
be a difference.
we should know more about his company.
Yeah, we
Or
need to know
some
about his
kinda-
company before and that would have nothing to do with the bids.
Mhm.
You know, how many trucks does he have? What's his,
Exactly. Yeah. And, you
Well,
know,
I can find that out.
And I'll have this reviewed more in depth to get back to you guys.
Well, how about this? Let's just do a little more research, and then we'll bring it back up next month, because that'll still give us plenty of time if we did decide to bid it. So I will do some research and find out what kind of trucks, and I mean, but that's what we can specifically tell them too, is that we want the trash cans specifically if we do, at some point go up to bid. So I'll do a little research
well,
on that.
and there's a matter of putting up a bond, and there's a whole lot of things involved in that, Mayor.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can't just,
Right, exactly. Yeah, he'd have to follow all the criteria that,
Yeah,
that
the
we lay
specs
out.
are pretty substantial.
Pardon?
Do what?
The specification packet's pretty substantial.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but we'll try to do a little more research then and bring it back up in next
Well,
month.
when they, did we ever find out, can we just go ahead? Do we have
Oh.
2 more extensions? Or do we know for sure?
I think we have 3 more extensions.
Let's
I
see.
think we have
Okay.
3.
I think the first extension was of the 5. It was up to 5. And
So
I
just
think
so
the first
we're
one
all
was in
clear, what you're
2018.
saying is we're not obligated to put it up for bid.
Well, that's what I don't know. That's what I'm asking our city attorney.
Yeah,
I don't
I,
know.
I, I don't think so, but Cecilia's gonna have to look into that for sure.
Yes,
Okay.
I will
All
look
right.
into that tomorrow. The contract I have here that I'm looking through doesn't have, I don't have a copy of the extensions we've done thus far. So I will get with
I'll
the
get
mayor
those
and
in the
Phyllis and
morning.
get it tomorrow, and we'll know precisely and be able to report back to you all.
Okay, well, we'll get that research done and be a little more prepared next time on that one. I just want to bring it up and let you be aware. Okay, the next thing is I did put in here your packet, the new bill that did pass, and I think it will go into effect November the 1st about entertainment districts and businesses being able to have alcohol on the premises. I just wanted you to be aware that that's actually passed and that it probably will go into effect, I believe, November 1st. And I didn't know if that was something that you wanted to consider for any part of Malvern. Or if you had any questions about it. I had given a copy to Cecilia to kind of let her do a little looking at it, see what she thinks. But I just wanted you to be aware that that had passed. It's not a vote. It's a specific thing saying that it is a law now that cities can designate an entertainment district whereby they are authorizing the businesses to sell alcohol. So if you decide that's something that we want to do, then you might want to keep that in your mind.
Does that mean restaurants or a package store?
No, well, this strictly means it would be some type of entertainment, like restaurants or clubs, wouldn't it, Cecilia? Isn't that how you read it?
Yeah.
This is referring to
But not
food by the
actual.
drink or let's see, beverages by the drink or in broken or unsealed containers for consumption on the premises where it's sold. So we're talking about restaurants that serve alcohol or a club of some sort. And if you will think about, some of you may know in Little Rock, for instance, the River Market area, that's an entertainment district. So anyone that
Well,
goes into that area
yeah.
can operate, a restaurant or bar or
So you're
club.
saying an example of that would be Larry's Pizza could serve beer?
If we
If it
name
was
that a
in-
district.
If it was in that,
We could, yeah.
Now,
So
this
could we,
is-
I got a
this is-
question for you, Mayor. Can we
Yes.
name the city of Malvern an entertainment district?
well, I did ask Cecilia that, didn't I? I don't know if she found anything out, but this says it contains any number, any combination of restaurants, tap rooms, taverns, entertainment establishments, hospitality establishments, music venues, theaters, bars, private clubs, art galleries, art studios, tourist destinations, distilleries, dance clubs, cinemas, or concert halls.
So all of that saying, that would include this Mexican restaurant out here that wanted to.
Well, now the Mexican restaurant's a little bit different deal. They have a private liquor license.
Oh, okay.
I think that they have a private liquor license. Is that not correct, Cecilia? And from what I understand, they're bringing that, they already had it in Benton. And
Yes.
somehow they're getting it approved to have it here, I assume.
Well, that's what they're attempting to do is do a type of transfer from Saline County to Hot Spring County. But think of it this way: the example Larry used, for example, Larry's Pizza. If we identified that whole shopping center as an entertainment district, anything that came into that area, that shopping center, would be acceptable to, have alcohol.
Say for instance, the Chinese restaurant right next door.
Right. Or an art gallery, or
Or you could have you some white wine with your Big Mac.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you, we have started back with the committee to try and get Hot Spring County wet again. So we kind of got COVID out last time, but they're starting it back up. So
On this entertainment district, is this something the city council does, or does it require a vote, or what do you have to do?
No, the council can do it. A municipality that collects gross receipt tax on prepared food or hotel and motel accommodations, that's us, and located in a county with established entities authorized by the Alcohol Beverage Control. So you all by ordinance can create a designated district. So it, especially if the progress committee gets its signatures and gets, on the ballot and the voters vote for it, we would definitely need to come up with some districts. But
So Rockport or Perla could put in an entertainment district if they chose to do so.
yes.
Yes, and I heard that one of them's working on it.
So just keep that in your mind, and we'll see what happens next.
Well, it may
Okay.
be something, we possibly may want to think about. The next thing I have is Cecilia is pretty close to being ready to pursue Popeyes for breach of contract by not annexing into the city. Is that something you want to go forward with in court?
yes.
Are you talking to the council?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just kind of wanted consensus. We can't vote, but I told her to go ahead and go through with it, but I told her, we'll wait and kind of get the consensus of the council. So, okay, you got the answer, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Other than that, I did tell you about the money on the American Rescue Act. I will keep you in touch with that, as soon as we get that. I know you haven't, I don't know if you've got it on your report yet, but sales tax is still looking really, really good. I don't have that here in front of me. I should have put it in your packet, but it'll be on your tablet too. But, other than that, seems like a lot of things are happening. If you haven't been out to the fire department, you need to go out and look. They're making a lot of progress. And as quickly as Pumphrey gets finished with these plans, we'll get the police department back out there. And other than that, does anybody have anything for me?
Have you got an estimated completion date on the fire department?
Fire department's supposed to be 270 days from the start. So far, they have not asked for any rain days. They may before it's over. So that would put us about the end, I guess, end of probably around November, 1st of December, unless they do ask for some rain days, which possibly could happen, but they hadn't so far. And then the police department, when it starts, the estimated time on it is 150 days.
Now you said the bidding gonna be delayed now for 2 weeks?
Well, hopefully 2 weeks is what Pumphrey told me.
And so when will we see some action on the streets, Mayor?
Well, as soon as you did this one low bid, you'll be seeing some streets start. We also got state aid this year, which is, that's what I got Pine Bluff Street done with a few years ago. That's a $250,000 project. So they're doing Walnut. Michael, do you remember what streets they're doing the state aid? You'll be seeing
Walnut
that
from Page to Anthony Timberland. And when you get to Walnut first and Spruce, you're gonna make a left turn on Spruce, get all the Spruce, you're gonna cross Sullenberger and come back up Stanley to Stanley, and then you're gonna go from Stanley, Sullenberger, all the way down there. I think is it the second track or is it Walco? I forget how far it goes.
Yeah, I think it's Walco. And then we're also going to check in since they're going to be there anyway, what it would cost to go ahead and take Sullenberger out to Maine, because we're going to do Maine on to the other end of Sullenberger with this Cape Seal. So we actually have not opened the bids. Phyllis, do you remember what date we opened the bids? Is it for the street, the 12 miles? I don't have my calendar here in front of me. I think it was June 24th.
I think it's the 24th or the
Yeah.
25th.
So
something
as soon
like that.
as soon as we get those bids open and get it approved in July, then that should get started.
This we're gonna vote on Monday night. That's not bond money, is it?
Yes, that's bond money.
Oh, that is bond money, the hundred.
That is bond money. Yes. Yes. And then
Okay.
the other 12 miles will be, and then we're also working on getting some bid specifications for Royal Oaks. I know it's a subdivision, but it's concrete streets, and one area is completely cracked up because of a pine tree. Cecilia's working with me on getting that pine tree cut by the owner. But they're the ones that actually, I mean, it's caused a lot of damage in that area. So that one will be worked on also.
And that would be a separate bid because it's totally concrete.
Yeah. So, I mean, you may see several bids because different sections and different processes and that type of thing. But we had, the weather got better, but then we've had all this rain, so it's been difficult for them to do much of anything. So
And in the meantime, Wayne and Larry, whenever the weather start getting better, we will start doing some crack sealing too. So we're not just gonna wait on the overlays and all that good stuff. We will start doing some crack sealing.
We need it.
Yes, sir, we do.
We need it very bad.
But we gotta wait till all this rain stops.
So, all right, Mayor, have we got our drainage to where we can feel confident about doing the streets and then them not getting washed away?
Well, we do in the areas that we've been working on the areas that we are going to do some paving on. There's still a lot more, Larry. We get sinkholes turned in every day. And so, unfortunately, that's more of a reactive situation than a proactive because you just don't know where the next problem is going to occur. But yes, to answer your question, are the ones that we're going to pave, yes, we are working on those.
Okay.
All of our infrastructure is extremely old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get around to Walco Road one day too.
Walco Road is in that Cape Seal, I believe, Mary.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's in the Cape Seal though. It's not a complete overlay, but it is a good base to do with, and that'll be a lot cheaper. In fact, just to kind of show you how, and I know y'all know things have gone up, especially in the building, but I got a letter that said that our plastic culverts, the big thick plastic covers, are going up 90% the cost from last year. So nearly double. So that's about how everything is right now, nearly double. So anything else? Well, if not,
Mayor,
yes.
I did find the provision in the contract that I was looking for. Our garbage collection contract terminates November the 1st, 2022. So we have one more year with Republic should we choose to continue with them for one more year.
Okay. So. Well, so I'll go ahead though and try to find out a little information, some references and things just to have for y'all and get those to you as soon as I can. So anything else from anybody? If not, I guess. Yes.
So on that trash, so that means no matter what in 2022, we're going up for rebid.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like it makes sense just to wait till then, personally, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Well, do we want to just wait until November 1st, 2022?
I mean, that makes sense to me. They're doing a good
We
job.
extended another, we could, right now, we extended another year at the same price.
Yes, they have a stipulation that if fuel cost goes up, they'll go up just a little, no more than a certain percentage on fuel cost.
To cover the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense, what David said. I know it's a rare thing, but it did.
Even David had
I'll
to
get you
smile
back
on that
there.
one.
He compromised on that one.
Just kidding, David.
I want to ask you too, I mean, the courtroom has been changed around a little bit with the new judge. I know that he's taken the big table out, which I have got that saved to go across the street when the code office moves. But, cause I know that I think someone told me Bill Scripture's dad made that, so I'm not gonna let that get out of our hands, but the new judge has put a couple of smaller tables in there, and I didn't know if y'all want to continue meeting like this, or at some point, Judge Thornton has offered to let us go over to the courtroom until we get our new council room ready. I didn't know if y'all want to keep meeting like this until we get our new council room, or if you want me to try to come up with a place, or we can go back in the old courtroom. It's just so small. And it's kind of configured a little bit different right now. We have a lot of stuff to try to sit on around us, but anyway, I can find us a place if you want to start meeting again, or what do you want to do? You want to continue like this? Or we can go back into the Waterworks boardroom and then have the citizens call in on the Zoom or the team program if you want to do that. So what do you think y'all want to do?
Whatever. I mean, I'm not, concerned about getting in a room with y'all. So, I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, I don't want to be wearing a mask or anything, but I'll definitely get in a room with y'all.
I'm ready to go back to the meetings in the rooms too.
Yeah,
Get away from
I
this.
don't have a problem with that, Mayor.
Well, so do you want me to see about, do you want to go back to the Waterworks and meet that way? Or do you want me to see about possibly using the courtroom over at the courthouse? Or do you want to go back into our courtroom?
I think the courtroom at the courthouse would be, everybody'd be a little more comfortable there. Just my opinion, because it's quite a bit bigger.
Well, Judge Thornton did offer it to us, so I'll talk to him tomorrow and see if we can't work that out.
As long as none of the quorum courts there. I don't like us.
You are being recorded, Larry.
I know, I'm just playing again.
Well, I'll talk to the judge if they may tell us no now, Larry.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, Duke. Way to go, Larry.
Anyway, so
Hey, I just speak the truth, man.
I'll visit with the judge and see if we can work that out. Well, all right, I'll get back with you then. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
See you Monday
Good
night.
night, everybody.
All right.
See you.
All right.